after the announcement of Paralives getting delayed for another 6 months, so we won't actually be getting our hands on it until May of 2026, they actually also announced that they would be doing a 45-minute live stream of live mode fully interrupted, because obviously the gameplay portion of the game is what we haven't really seen when it comes to Paralives, and yesterday they did that. Now, I couldn't react to this because I was actually in the cinema watching Wicked for Good, so I decided why not take my time today to actually first react to this, and then I think over the weekend I'm obviously gonna watch this in my own time and come up with more of my thoughts and feelings, because they have actually said repeatedly that feedback for them in this point, and obviously all throughout early access once we do actually get our hands on this game as players, is extremely important. It's extremely important for them to know where we want this to go, where the strong suits of this game is, where are the lower points of this game. So welcome to my first reaction of the Paralives live mode livestream, which already off the bat, Rena over here is the community manager. I'm so sorry, Rena, but I'm assuming your face cam is in the best possible position to not ruin the rest of the flow of the screen and pointing stuff out. So I am going to be covering Rena for this video, and I do apologize for that. But also Rena has already referred to it as live mode, which I am a live mode truther. I have always said live mode from being so little. We are starting off in Paramaker, but I think more so Rena can talk about the personality and how you actually give points, and then the knock-on effect that potentially that could have in the gameplay. Physique, mind, creativity, and charisma, and you have 7 points in total to use. You can have it empty. It will say a warning. So for all the base ones, you're then only left with 3 points, which doesn't feel like a lot. So he has 1 in mind, 2 in creativity, charisma, and physique. Then we also have the vibe: overjoyed, gloomy, energetic, serious, and jester. Not gonna lie, I kind of wanted to see jester. I want to know how vibe actually affects it. Then we have social perk, not follow their whimsy. This is what I kind of love about this game being so modern. Follow their whimsy is so modern. It's so colloquial. Does that mean it's gonna age potentially in the further? Yeah, absolutely. Just trolled Tef forums in The Sims 4, I think having that more colloquial talk and kind of taking memes and stuff that is trending online definitely can have an effect of things aging very quickly.
Company of others, they make friends very easily.
Then we also have social perks. I'm so sorry, I fully glossed over those. And then talents: jack of all trades, which is quite nice, music, fitness, food, technology, art, or good at nothing. I desperately hope that the good at nothing actually has a knock-on effect and makes the game harder. I really hope that you growing skills and interests and stuff actually has a knock-on effect from that. That's something that I've always wanted in other life simulation games, actually a difficulty in working on things, and also there potentially even being a strict limit that your sim, if they're not good at anything, they can't go past a skill level 3 in a bunch of different things. That actually makes the game physically harder. Increased risk of fires, harder to get promotions in their careers. Yeah, there could be an essential loophole to getting career promotions, maybe, if you needed that.
Our emotions down here. So right now we're happy. We're happy because we have a overjoyed vibe.
So from this emotion, we can choose to do something that relates, I'm assuming, to his personality, the fact that he is talented at music, find a job in the music industry, or to clean something up.
If you open this tab here, this is your goals.
Our current goals are settle home. We need to find a job, place a decorative object in your home, and also cook a meal. Just to let you know, Rena also prefaced this stream with the fact that we are going to be focused in Old Town. However, eventually, through more videos, through more live streams, they want to try and do videos weekly to keep people up to date. I'm kind of hoping from this point going forward, this is all going to be available to the public instead of just Patreon, because I really do like the openness that they've gone into this with. And I think it's extremely important, especially now that they've kind of pushed back the release date, to kind of have the wider community also be a part of this like communication and clarification. So it seems that you already have a home potentially like from the get-go. Right now you don't like choose a place to like live in. You can see people going into that lot just there. They weren't really like using the door or anything. They were just kind of like filtering through, which right now at like this point in time doesn't really like phase me all that much. Like, this is early access. If you complete that, you start actually earning XP, which is like experience points. And then the new paper. Here's a list of activities to do around town. Free $100 coupon. I'm not too sure what they're calling the money in Paralives. First come, first served. We don't know what the list is. I'm assuming that that's going to give you another like kind of goal to complete. Discover the town has popped up here. Collect 5 gems, mushrooms, or artifacts. They've already spoken that you can find things around the world. Make a donation to the museum. Yeah. I love it when games have a museum. The Animal Crossing museum is one of my favorite things. I also, less like interactive than the Animal Crossing one, but I also enjoyed that element in Coral Island too. I just love when you can actually give stuff to the museum and feel like you're actually like completing something. It speaks to me as a gamer. Make a donation to the community center, which is very like Stardew-esque. Buy something at a shop and become acquaintances with 3 people. And there are people wandering around. Like I said, they're not really like opening doors or anything like that, but they are having a little wander. There's definitely like other paras around the area. In 45 minutes, that's a lot to do. That's kind of nice, because that adds a little bit of longevity to the game. Hold on, let me see that interaction list. I need to have a little look at it. So we have go here, jog here, run here, dance here, exercise, which actually has some other options. I'm assuming if we hover over this, sit here and daydream. God, this is like going back. I don't watch people's Let's Plays like all that often, but when I used to, I would like move my mouse around and like actually try to interact with things. And this is gonna give me that same vibe. Like, I want to see the exercises. I want to see what you can do. We also seem to have a bookshop, a little cafe or florist shop, plant shop, and also a hairdresser's. Ooh, so the bookstore or like the cafe potentially actually has hiring, as does the hairdressers. Love that little realism of them having like a hiring poster up on their walls and like being able to actually like click on that and find a job that way. That's sick. We can use a phone, and for that phone we can find a job, we can order, play video games, or check social media. Here's hoping social media doesn't become redundant in this game. Job postings. Okay, software development, art, service, music, education, management, maintenance, healthcare, science, fitness, food. Then they seem to have like different like versions of it. Rank 29? I'm used to having like 10 levels in a career. What do you mean rank 29? Also, that doesn't seem like a big discrepancy between pay. Like 910 per day to 250 with 28 ranks in between, but we are clearly not qualified for that job. Paradigms. Okay, that's the money.
Some jobs require like application points. This one doesn't because it's a rank 1 job.
Whoa, there's quite a lot in service. This is cool. So this is like the industry rather than just having those jobs be those jobs. So you can be a store clerk at the plant shop under service, a hairdresser at the salon, a receptionist at the museum/library, the clerk in the general store. That appears twice. I think that's probably just maybe a bug. In the music, we have music therapist at the hospital, physical education teacher at the elementary, which if that ever does become like an active career that you can actually go to the school and work as that, I know people are going to be really impressed with it. Management, obviously we're not qualified for any of those because it's management and they're all higher ranking ranking jobs. That makes sense that you're not qualified for science. This is cool. This is a cool way of doing it. I do wonder if they're maybe gonna add like slightly lower ranks into those, but I kind of like the realism. But then I imagine you just kind of have to work on your skills and your interest, etc., to actually be able to get those jobs. So you're kind of just gonna have to like stay at home, maybe like have a part-time job or like one of those lower ranking jobs to actually be able to pay for those interests that you then eventually need to get into. Once you actually start doing the XP, it goes towards your personality experience points. This is the little apartment that we are living in. We didn't choose this, but maybe they'd already chosen it. They haven't really spoken about that. I love the pinning the interaction so that it appears at the top of the list. This is something that I've wanted from The Sims. I feel like the UI in life simulations gets so messy. So I love that you can actually like pin your favorite things. And I hope that that actually changes for different paras. Like, I hope that if you have a para who's interested in like a certain musical instrument or like a certain thing, they can always have like a different pin situation to like another para, and that's actually individual to the paras, or at least the households, rather than like a default throughout your game.
Go. He's fast, dang.
Damn, that wasn't even in 3-speed. That was just on 1-speed, and he was so fast. Love the green kitchen. They really said, this is for the Willowers. Ooh, he's gone to take himself actually onto his PC. He's working on his programming. He did that like from his own volition. That was just like his free will. I really hope that if we take screenshots in the game, we can actually get rid of this circle, because if there's like a tab mode or something, which is really important for content creators, can I just say, like even just for telling stories and like your game like getting bigger on social media and stuff like that, I feel like it's important to think about those things. Obviously it does kind of come secondary to the actual gameplay and making a game that's enjoyable, but I think sometimes those things are like overlooked, and I definitely think it makes the game look a little bit better, and also technically like perform a little bit better on social media if people can get creative with it and make like really cool stuff. Just take Pokemon and having like that crosshair on the camera mode like forever. Think how many content creators like make a fuss over that, because it literally just takes ages for them to edit out, even though it's such a small thing. So currently Milo is working on his programming, which is quite interesting considering I think they chose music. I'm assuming that they chose music as an interest. But he was just like, no, you know what? I'm kind of vibing with the programming right now. Oh, now he's working on graphic design. It definitely feels like it goes up quite quickly. I again hope the like higher you go up in these levels, the slower the progress actually becomes, because sometimes I feel like life simulation games make it a little bit too easy, and then it kind of just like eradicates the difficulty in like the rest of the game. I'm trying to see like simulation lag. So it did seem then, I don't know if that's maybe potentially affected by 3-speed. I could have just been burnt by The Sims 4 here. I said it the other day whilst I was playing The Sims 2, but it feels really weird to actually be playing a game and have your like character react so quickly and like go and do something. Whereas that felt like there was a little bit of like a wait, a little lag time between him actually finishing the apple and then going to choose something. But that might have just been the time that it took for him to actually like dictate what he was gonna do in his next like free will mode. Just grabbed an apple. These are actually our needs over here. They kind of look like old school personality points from like The Sims 1, but these are actually your needs. So you have a sleep need, a bladder need, a hygiene, and a hunger. Nothing right now for like fun or social. These are the recipes that you currently have. Just like microwaved and tofu. No thank you.
For Milo, we have a bunch of level 1 recipes and then one level 2 recipe. And of course, I don't think I'd be able to necessarily succeed the level 2 recipe because
Rena actually doesn't think that Milo would be able to succeed in the level 2 because he is just a level 1. So it's nice that that is kind of like included, but maybe potentially has more of a risk. I kind of wish we had gone for that one just to see if there is any current risk. And that doesn't only have to be like fires, I don't think. I think that could also be like your toaster breaking, or like your character just like not enjoying it and then just being like, no, actually, I'm not gonna cook right now. So there we go. We actually finished up. We got a personality level up for Milo, and that did actually fill our hunger. His talent is music, so interesting. Maybe he doesn't have any like music stuff in his apartment right now. Maybe he's focused on like the computer, which makes me scared because again, I've been burnt by computers in life simulation games, and I kind of hope that they don't just want to use the computer all of the time. Music makes you feel better. Playing music for 2 hours unlocks a reaction to remove all sad emotions that are 2 or less, or happy tunes. Playing music for 0 hours unlocks a reaction that gives every household member +0 happy. They are still being worked on and improved. I was gonna say that like means basically nothing right now, I fear.
We leveled up something in the background. Sweet.
Ooh, I kind of wish that hadn't happened. I kind of wish I don't know if I would want the game to pause during this, but we leveled up something and we couldn't really see what we had leveled up because this was kind of like in the way of it. So maybe not having that like notification centered, maybe having something like up in another area, like move it. I'm not really too sure how they could go about that, but not being able to see what was leveled up and it still being in 2-speed. I'm assuming you can pause the game right now if you want to. It might just have been his programming skill that was going up, or like technology. I like that the technology goes up slower. Oh, his feet are clipping a little bit, but I do like how small that bathroom actually is and how it's actually usable. I say all the time, I would prefer honestly a little bit of clipping if it means that we can actually like have smaller spaces and like better routing and like be able to sit in more places, but that might not be everyone's kind of vibe. Ooh, this is a really funky shaped apartment. This would be hell to decorate, like actually IRL. This would be so bad. I like how the covers look. I like how it looks whilst he's sleeping and like moving. Glad that he's actually under the covers and not lying on top. Well, once have reset, and they reset every night. I would quite like it if you could maybe lock those so they didn't potentially reset like every day and you could actually like keep a story going. But technically we still have cleaned something up, which I think that was an option yesterday as well. I don't mind it so much if it keeps the one that you had, but I don't constantly want that to be resetting. I'm assuming this little icon right here, like the little smiley face, is like, hey, this is what's happening right now. The new paper, did you click that, Rena, or did that just pop up by itself? I think Rena actually clicked into that, so this doesn't like pop up every morning. Ooh, we're gonna talk. Oh, no, they disappeared. That's fine. That happens all the time. Yeah, literally, they just blip out of existence when they're like, actually, I don't really want to talk with you right now. Honestly, I've said in the past, like, some of the animations look a little bit slowed down. They kind of look like custom animations for The Sims 4 when you download, like, mods and custom content. Especially, like, the dancing. I feel like dancing always feels slow in that kind of stuff. But they move actually really fast, like when they're walking.
Here, our together bar is filling up.
25 minutes for the together bar to fill. You can choose a development for your conversation. Bond by spending some happy moments together. And that's the way that your friendship goes up.
I don't think he has a job.
That is a child. A little taxpayer. This is the way that conversation works. You have to like let that 25 minutes of in-game like talking, like interaction actually happen, and then you get this choice to like kind of see which direction it's going to flow in. So this is actually how you do the interactions. It's not like click on a para and then choose what you want the interaction to be. You are kind of like limited to these 3, but I actually quite like that. I like that this can introduce storytelling. I like how this could potentially introduce like like fun moments, and you can also miss moments as a player, which I think is really cool, because like in life, yeah, you do miss some things. You can't just like orchestrate every little thing. You can't orchestrate how someone's gonna like refer back to you or like think about you in the future, whereas I feel like sometimes potentially in The Sims, like you've been the director too often, whereas this is like, no, you know what, like you are limited to these things because you don't know how it's gonna go, like how that person is gonna react to you, which I think is pretty cool, honestly. Trust me, I played out so many conversations in my head in like different ways that things could go, but that's not always realistic. And then you can just leave the conversation. Oh, I hope that we can like exit other people out of the conversation, or they just like don't join the conversation at all, unless we choose to like be in a conversation with multiple powers. More relationship labels are coming and leveling labels will unlock more social interactions and together cards. Currently, we are acquaintance level 1 and friend level 1 with Orion. I don't really understand how you can be both. Oh, so they all have coworker level 1.
Or we haven't seen them.
But we actually haven't gone to the job yet, so that's why they're all level 1. Ooh, you get a little notification that says work starts in an hour. We can go visit the story nook. Okay, so it's kind of like open worldy in the sense that you do have to click on something. It's not like loaded in technically, like it's kind of blocked out, but then if you choose visit, it like flashes and pops, and then that actually opens up. I imagine you can do this. I imagine maybe that's what these, no, that's floor, and then I'm imagining this is walls, but right now it feels like very built up. Like I don't like playing a game too often from like a top down angle, especially a life simulation. I prefer to be on like a horizontal level to my characters so that I can like see their reactions, whereas currently this feels like very top down because the walls are up, but that might just be like personal preference from Rena. We actually choose to go eat out. Really nice that we can actually do that before work. I know technically we don't start till 12 p.m, which is quite late, but like that was an option, because sometimes I feel like so rushed in other games, although I imagine if we had an earlier start, I probably would have felt more rushed. And Milo has gone off to work. Right now, none of the careers are active, so your para will just go like off lot. You won't be able to control them. We also don't seem to be getting like any pop-ups or anything like that when it comes to being at work, which I always enjoy. Upgrades from work.
So this is the work tab where you can see what your job is, where, the work schedule, what rank you're currently at, your pay, your vacation days, and your performance based on all of the things or all of the...
Not the triangle being in the game. That is so funny to me. Honestly, where's the recorder? Ooh, you can get 3 strikes, and then I'm assuming you're like fired from your job if you go over those 3 strikes.
Very low on staff. Gain $250 in A, but a shift ends 3 hours later. Oh my god, that sounds kind of bad.
Love that reaction. Love that Paralives aren't crunching their team, because I don't think that reaction would have been that way. Ooh, you can use the camera to center on the para if you don't know where they're actually at once they return from a lot or something. I think the chance is like how like much it has of being like done correctly, so there's like a 45% chance.
Whenever you see a percentage like that, it usually correlates to like how well you know the other person. So right now we don't know Antoine well at all, so that's why this is at 45%.
Oh, we failed it. He didn't find us weird though. He didn't like walk off from it, which again, I would kind of love to see that. Like if it's a failure, then yeah, if he's just like an acquaintance, then you have another chance to like actually get to know him. Or maybe he's like, whoa, that is far too strong, like I'm gonna take myself away from this conversation. I would like to see like that little bit of realism, maybe a little bit more. Who is this? Who's this baddie? They bond by spending some happy moments together. She like always occurs when the friend thing occurs. Ooh, okay, so the click and drag is for the group making, which I have spoken about before, and I'm fairly sure Patreons like educated me on that, but I was like, what if there are people like also stood around you that you don't want to be part of the group, and I think there's maybe like an alternate way to go about that, but we're going into the plant shop together. I'm so sorry, but whilst we're talking about plants, I also just have to like give Runa some props for that monstera, because that is one of the most magnificent monsteras I've ever seen in my entire life. They do move together quite nicely as a group. It feels like they are quite responsive even in a group to like walking around together. Haven't really shown potentially what you can do as a group other than like grabbing that free plant and like walking around together. I love that the space under the stairs is usable. He's actually got his TV over there, which is really nice. Here we go. We're getting into like his actual stuff here, like buying some music equipment. Oh, I wanted to see if he was gonna do that using free will, but it's fine. We can play guitar. Okay, right now it just flips up into your hand. Obviously would like to see a little bit of realism with like picking up the guitar, but that's me being picky. And again, but things like that can come like way later down the line. I'd rather have like actual focus on getting the core gameplay ahead of like fancy animations like that. So take everything I say in terms of like feedback and things that I would like or don't like in like with a pinch of salt, because I'm not gonna say like after everything that I say like obviously that could come later down the line or this or that. Like I'm not gonna divulge that information every single time, but just like keep that in your head that that's probably what I mean. We're now a level 2 in guitar and we are going up in our music. They do seem responsive. There's a little bit of idleness in between like their free will, which I would maybe like scrubbing up a little bit, like maybe not have them stand around as much, like just kind of have them do something, but I don't know if they can actually do that. But the response between like the player input and the power actually doing it is nice. I like how the newspaper is like reminding you of things that you can do in the game. I would also love the newspaper to be like updated in the future, like with story progression and stuff like that, like maybe an agony aunt situation, especially like if it was about your own paras. Like imagine you were talking to someone and then they actually developed a crush on you, but you technically didn't know, and then someone could like write in like a mystery para and be like, I have a crush on this person, how do I go about it? And then you can kind of think, well, is that about me? And like try it, and maybe it wasn't about you, and then your para becomes a little embarrassed and it has a negative effect on their relationship, or maybe it was about you. Definitely some potential for storytelling there, or even just like horoscopes and things like that to affect like what your sim may be interested in. Maybe they're having like a bad day, so therefore they're not really interested in a lot of stuff and they kind of just want to like sleep and they want to watch TV and like distract themselves, or maybe they're having like a really good day and so they're feeling like good about everything, and maybe they get like promoted more easily and stuff like that. So the music actually progresses kind of like The Sims 4. The better you get at something, the better they are at actually playing it, and the more pleasant it is for you to listen to as a player. I don't like that the computer screen is like moving whilst he's not using it. Like fair enough if that is like a program running in the background and like he could get up and multitask and go do something else while something is running, but I don't like that the screen is going whilst he's not using it. There's a little bit of clipping up here like when they zoom out of like this like little wall and this, I don't know, trim thing. Like, it's just a visual glitch. The way they sprint is so funny to me. The run here is everything. This is the antique shop. I'm hoping you can buy stuff here at like a discounted rate, and that it is actually discounted and feels discounted.
Ooh. This is 75% off.
Mind you, sometimes that just goes up further. It feels like those ones on the platforms are the ones with discounts. Sometimes antiques are actually worth a lot more. So maybe there's an upcharge on it as well, which would also be nice. Like adding, again, a little bit more difficulty to your game rather than just like going to buy it in IKEA, for example. He just got embarrassed by being in the same room as someone who was using the toilet. It's kind of hard to see what currently the emotions like do. I feel like predominantly they affect like when you talk to someone and like the stuff you're able to say to someone.
Okay.
Rather than anything else in the game. I would definitely prefer it to affect like the para's mood, and I don't know, Emotion systems just honestly like fall so flat for me. I think if you're embarrassed, it should have more of a negative reaction to like sims around you because you're like stumbling over your words and stuff. But I'm not the biggest fan of emotions. It'll be interesting to see if Paralives can change that. Oh, so these are skills, but they're like more overarching skills. Knowledge of different sciences. Improving skills under it will improve it as well. Improving your knowledge will increase the speed at which your skills under it improve. So it makes it easier, like, as that goes up slower, but then you gain skills faster, but it feels like you gain those skills under it faster anyway. So is this really having an effect? I would prefer that to maybe do more, but I haven't thought about what I would want it to do more so just yet. But maybe over the weekend I can come up with some things that I would prefer for this to do.
But everything else is not doing too good because our mood is bad because we were embarrassed earlier.
Oh, so the embarrassment has actually affected his mood in work, which means that's kind of like affecting other things. This is playing a lot smoother than I thought it was going to. The way that some Patreons were talking in my comments, like, don't get me wrong, I understand why they wanted the extra time and they want to like flesh it out so that it does actually feel like there's more to play upon release. They don't want it to feel like stale or stagnant from the very beginning, and they don't want players to run out of things to do. But I was genuinely expecting like more bugs and like way more visual glitches and like actually not as much gameplay as we have seen, although it doesn't feel in depth right now. And I think that's probably what they are trying to work on that little bit more before release. Like, it feels like they've got the breadth right now, but they've not really got the depth to a lot of stuff and the details and the finer things.
Increases by $0 per workday completed without taking a vacation. Resets if one is taken. That also doesn't sound very fun.
I feel like right now there's not much giving those choices, like something for you to actually choose from. Like the way Rena is playing is, I feel, how a lot of people would play. Like, it's just like none of those sound appealing, so I'm just gonna like rank up and earn like a little bit more money, like more steadily. But that could be bugs. Like, I imagine like that was set to 0, but then the more you work, obviously the more that percentage goes up. I don't know, I feel like starting at like 5% and then rolling it over to 10%, etc., would be a little better and kind of encourage the player to actually choose those rather than just being like, none of those sound good, so therefore I'm gonna ignore them. I kind of wish maybe for this they'd gone a little bit deeper. Like, I know that they're kind of showing this from the get-go, but I wish that they had maybe like already potentially like started a flirtationship or something, because right now it just feels like we're making an awful lot of acquaintances, and it's just like I want to see it further along as well. Like, I want to see the progression of like romantic relationships, etc. And we could be getting that in future live streams, but I just maybe wish that it was also in here as well. I know they only have 45 minutes to play. I think it's just because these interactions feel like quite basic at the like acquaintance, like beginning friend level.
Say the conversation is boring, talk about being tired. No, our needs are getting too low, so unfortunately.
Ooh, I do like that the needs going lower means that your para kind of becomes like a little bit more irritated by conversations. Like, we can either say the conversation is boring, talk about just like needing to go to the toilet, me and my friends all of the time, shitter sisters, or talk about being tired. Like, that's not fun for anyone. Like, you're just complaining at that point. But I like that. I like the realism of that. And I imagine if you continue to talk like that, it would have a negative effect on your relationship. But again, kind of wish that we had like gone with that and like leaned into that a little bit more so you could see that negative effect or that like really positive effect of socialization. Also, I do just want to clarify, I'm a content creator. I know how difficult it is, especially on an uninterrupted live stream, to show off like as much as you know you want to in a 45-minute time span. Like, I know that sounds like a long time, but when you're live and you also, it's like working with children, I imagine, in like acting or like animals, like you never really know how things are gonna go in the game, so you just gotta try and do your best, but it also has a knock-on effect of like taking longer. You always overestimate like how quickly things are gonna go and like how the flow is gonna be. So my heart truly goes to Rena for this. I think they have absolutely smashed it. Which, by the way, Paralives, can we get like everyone's pronouns potentially? Because if I'm gonna be reacting to a lot of these videos and live streams, I would like to be referring to people the way they like to be referred to. Thank you. Yes, show us the flirting. I wonder if like thinking about love life, I mean Rena hasn't shows it, and Rena knows more about the game currently than I do, but I wonder if that would make us feel like slightly, there we go, it did make us flirty. 3 hours left on that feeling flirty, but happy is like our main emotion, I think. Admit being extremely attracted, and a 79% likeliness that that's gonna work.
Let's try it.
Oh yes, I like the chance wheel. That's fun. That makes it fun as a player. There's something here. Romantic interest +1.
Other para. But we can say that there is romantic interest between Milo and Pauline.
I'm still kind of a little bit confused on the percentage thing, because it keeps like being said it depends how close you are to the para, but I feel like that's the success rate, and like I feel like we're not any closer to her than we were to anyone else. So is that not going off like our flirty emotion? I might just be misunderstanding. It's a big possibility. Ask if single. Oh, Pauline's in a romantic relationship.
Romantic relationship. We're being messy. Okay. Bye, Pauline.
Not the panic leave. Oh no, I kind of wanted to see if she would cheat. I wanted to get messier. Oh yeah, they do have the Notion now. You know how I was talking about I hope they give updates to like non-Patreon members? There is also the Notion, which is in their description, which I will also link in my description. I need to join the Discord as well. Thank you, Rena. Thank you so much for hosting. Honestly, that was so much fun. Loving the vibes. Of course, like I said, this was more so like my first reaction. Like, I'm obviously gonna watch this again. I'm gonna write my own notes. I'm gonna like fully dive into the things that I thought actually were quite good, what I was expecting, and what I actually didn't see. So definitely tune in over the weekend. But I would love to hear all of your thoughts as well. I would love to hear what you're feeling about this. Like, did that go better than you expected? Are you liking what you're seeing for right now? Are there things that you currently would change? Is there stuff that you're maybe a little bit concerned about or confused about that I could definitely pay more attention to? This was genuinely like a better flow of the game entirely than I was expecting. Like, genuinely the way people were talking, I was like, whoa, like this is gonna be slightly messy. Like, I'm kind of a little bit scared. But it already feels like they're putting in the work to like get those issues sorted out. And I do think it's more so from the team's perspective. They just know that right now, if people had their hands on this game, how much like would they actually get out of it? Like, how many hours of gameplay is it realistically? They want to make that good first impression. They want to have that good like oomph on launch and like actually draw people into it. And I think they definitely need to go a little bit deeper with stuff to be able to do that. So I think it's going in a good direction though. I'm honestly still just really, really glad that they were like, you know what, like we're not happy with it where it currently is, and we think that's going to be a reflection on our players, and it feels like they kind of already know their audience and their players, which is quite nice. All of that is very likely to be coming on Sunday to an EnglishSimmer channel near you. Thank you all so much for being here, and I will speak to you all then. Bye now. And also a big thank you to the Para team for like showing that. Honestly, I know how nerve-wracking it is, and you guys smashed it. I appreciate it.